Well guys, I figured this day might come, but I spun a bearing in the FRS. This car has just over 92,000 miles on it, completely stock engine-wise, performance-wise. I didn't do really anything that crazy. I took it to redline in third gear and fourth gear. And I don't normally do that. I drive this car, I pretty much baby this car everywhere I go, but that was enough to kill it. At 92,000 miles, I take all of my cars to redline. And doing that with, I guess, a Subaru motor is enough to kill a car that makes 150 horsepower. I don't know, I'm a little bit irritated just because of how unreliable these engines are. I checked the oil right now, it's full. There's no, I mean, I am using the 0W20 oil that's recommended for the car from the manufacturer, and I know you should probably use 5W30 based on some Mighty Car Mods videos that I watched recently. So I guess in the next motor that's what I'll be doing, but now we need to get a new motor, but right now I'm just waiting for the tow truck. No, he's done this before for sure.
You have to drive it to there to get it.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Today we are going to be assessing the damage on the FRS. So I don't know where I left off with the recording, but the engine started knocking on my drive to work after doing a couple pulls. Nothing too crazy, just merging onto the freeway. Took it to redline in third gear. After that, it seemed fine for a while, but once I got to city driving, it started knocking a little bit. So I pulled over immediately, had the car towed here to my parents' house, which is closer to my work. And now we're gonna go ahead and put it on the lift, drain the oil, see if there's any metal in the oil, try to find the source of the knocking. I'm assuming it's a rod bearing. And then we'll probably start pulling the motor because I'm gonna have to fix it. All right, we're inside. This is gonna hurt me so much. It's really hot in here. It's 92 degrees outside, so something like that. I'm gonna roll the windows down. Man, here we go. 92,000 miles on this thing. You can see right there, almost 93. I can't believe it just, and it's stock. Spun a rod bearing, I believe. Here we go. Oh God, it sounds so bad. And now it's gone. Oh man, it's so bad. It's actually not that bad. I'm like pretty surprised. Like right now I can't hear it knocking at all, but like if I get on it a little bit, it's definitely, I caught it quick, I think, so I'm really hoping that I can just maybe swap out the bearing even. Maybe need new rods, but hopefully the crank's fine. Okay, so here's the oil. You're not really going to be able to see much unless I run my fingers through it in the video, but we've ran our fingers through it, and it doesn't really appear like there's any metal shavings in it. If there are, we can't really see them. So we're going to go ahead and take this bottom splash shield off right here, or skid plate, whatever you want to call it, and then look and see if we can take the oil pan off.
Can I dive deep into the darkness in your heart? Trust you more
So I had noticed that that pan down there was oily. Actually, I noticed at the bottom of the oil pan over here was a little oily, and that was it, and that's been kind of consistently oily. I thought it was just this, but after taking that off, there was a ton of oil on the top, which you couldn't really see because it was all covered. But now, if we take a look up here, that is a really nasty oil leak. From some stuff that I looked online, it looks like it's a timing cover leak. So I think I might have to pull the motor to replace that. I'm planning on pulling the motor anyway at this point. But first, before we even worry about that, we're actually going to take off the header here and the exhaust a little bit back to clear up the oil pan. And then I'm going to pull the oil pan off and see if we can take a look at the crank and the rods.
Don't care who you are or who you want to be. I'll be here until the day that you leave me.
See the oil, look at the oil glitter.
Yeah, so we took this out, we dumped the oil out, and
You can see the glitter in the oil.
you can see some metal in there for sure. We don't know how dirty this thing was before we poured the oil in here. I should have wiped it out, but I didn't. But there's definitely glitter in the oil. So that's gotta be from this motor. I mean, unless you drained your Hudson in here when you were breaking it in and it's still like residual. But you used that thing, didn't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, this has gotta be for my car.
Yeah.
There's like chunks of stuff up here too.
I don't think that's
But
no.
I think that's just like old, like rust and stuff from other cars.
Yeah. But there's
But-
glitter in the oil.
Glitter in the oil for sure. So we just about got the header off right here. There's one bolt holding it on. I gotta undo the O2 sensor plugs, and then we can go ahead and drop this thing down, and then we can take the oil pan off and take a look in there. All right, so we got some trouble getting this thing off. The other phone died, slash camera. Other phone slash camera. I use phones to record my videos because I'm broke. Anyway, the other one died. So we got all of the bolts out of here, and this thing is very, very stuck. So I got a putty knife. I'm gonna wedge it in here and work my way around with a heat gun and try to get this thing unstuck so we can pull it down. We really want to be able to see what kind of damage is in there. Okay, so here's the oil pan. See, there's chunks of metal in there, like right in this little pickup tube area. And then if we can kind of rotate this down, you can see all the gold metal down there from the bearing. So this motor definitely has to come out. It needs to be rebuilt. All right, so there's the bottom of the pan. You can see over here we got some metal chunks.
See them, they're gold color.
Yep.
Brass. Right here in the oil, there's some big chunks right there.
Yeah. That's bearing.
There's a good shot right there. Yep. That's parts of a bearing right there.
That's where I'm stopping this video. I don't think I explained it very well, but you can't really see the crank or the rods with the oil pan off in this engine. There's a bunch of like engine block stuff underneath in the way, just the way that the engine's designed. So you really do have to pull the bottom of the block off before you can see all that stuff. And to do that, you got to take the timing cover off. So it's just going to be way easier to do by pulling the motor out. So in the next video, we're pulling the motor out. So if you want to see that, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, click the bell. Another thing that will really help me out is if you give this video a thumbs up. That'll help me out with the algorithm, maybe get my videos up in views again. And thank you so much for watching. Peace out.